And let's resume on the second topic under behavioral learning theories, connectionism. Okay? Now, connectionism is by Edward Thorndike. Please be guided and do not be confused, ha? Sa cognitive development theory, Jean Piaget. We also have sociocultural by Levi-Gotsky. Information processing theory by George Miller. Then we have classical conditioning by Ivan Pavlov. And connectionism by Edward Thorndike. Please do familiarize these persons who had contributed a lot in education. Please. Okay? Now, Edward Thorndike is one of the few psychologists who focused on education. Thorndike believed that forming associations or connections between sensory experiences and neutral impulses results in the prime type of learning. So, doon founded yung connectionism, associations. Okay? To what? To sensory experiences and impulses results to learning. Now, under connectionism, we have the different laws of learning. Initially, we have 3. Okay, 3 lang muna, pero actually there are additional. First is the law of exercise, then law of effect, and law of readiness. Connectionism, sabi pa nga ni Edward Thorndike, there must be a connection sa kanilang sensory experience and impulses doon sa learning nila. Nakuha, there should be association and connection. First, law of exercise. Now, drills are vital to acquire and sustain learning. Now, drill, ibig sabihin repetition. There is a repetition of the mastery of a concept, no? Or a skill. Depende yon kung ano ba yon. Okay? Then, it is divided into 2 parts. Nakuha, yung law of exercise, our repetition, sabi pa nga dito, between stimuli and responses are strengthened through being exercised frequently. Inuulit ng madalas. Nakuha. Kaya siya tinawag na law of exercise kasi daw, yung response ng isang bata ay mas mauulit, no? Or mas strengthen kapag ka ito ay ini-exercise ng madalas. So, meron tayong dalawang parts. We have the law of use and law of disuse. Sa law of use, the frequent recurring of the response. No? Kapag inuulit-ulit siya, mas napapa-strengthen daw yung connection. So, we have here law of disuse. When a response is not made to stimulus, the connection's strength is weakened. Kapag hindi na siya inuulit, then, pwedeng makalimutan yung natutunan niya. Okay? So, learners usually learn faster when they often apply. Often, madalas niyang ina-apply yung skill, or that is what you call the law of use. Nakuha? Okay, and tend to forget when such a response does not recur over some time. Kapag hindi na inuulit, then that is what you call law of disuse. So, we have here an example. So, ang isang pianist daw, no, paulit-ulit daw siya nagpa-practice ng kanyang piece bago siya mag-perform. No? So, yung behavior ng pag-play ng piano ay na-strengthen, yung kanyang talent ay mas gumaganda at nahahasa. Bakit? Because of constant practice, no? The exercise is frequent, paulit-ulit. Pero, kapag hindi siya nagpe-play ng piano ng madalas, no, parang wala lang, hindi siya nagbibigay ng effort and time to practice and to exercise playing piano, then more likely, nakakalimutan niya. Or, kapag nag-perform na siya, mas madalas siyang nagkakamali. Bakit? Law of disuse. Once the behavior is not repeated, it could be forgotten. Nakuha? Law of use and law of disuse. Okay na? Okay, next. Now, Thorndike later revised the law of exercise. Why? Bakit niya revise? Kasi sabi niya, he confessed that kapag simpleng practice lang, no, hindi yun nag-i-improve sa learning ng isang bata, but rather, practicing with constant practice, yun. Constant practice must be followed by some reward or satisfaction. Okay. To the learner. In short, the pupil must be motivated to learn. So, kailangan meron daw goal. No? Hindi lang basta-basta nagpa-practice, but rather, there should be a reward presented doon sa bata para mas madalas siyang magpa-practice or mag-exercise. Say, for example, yung main goal ng pianist, no, is to win or to have a medal sa pagpiplay ng kanyang piano. So, more likely, ano yung magiging behavior niya? Magpa-practice siya. Bakit? Ang gusto niya, makuha yung medal which will serve as a reward for him. Nakuha? Pero kung wala namang reward, iisipin niya, para saan ako na magpe-play ng piano? Ano yung purpose kung bakit ako magpe-play ng piano? Kung walang reward, diba? Kung walang goal. So, more likely, much better daw, according sa revised na statement ni Thorndike, na much better kung merong reward para nandoon yung constant practice. Next is law of effect. Emphasizes that if a response is followed by a satisfying state of affairs, the stimulus response or the SR connection is strengthened. Now, if a response is followed by an annoying state of affairs, the stimulus response or the SR connection is weakened. Satisfiers and annoyers are critical to learning. Say for example, no? Ikaw talagang sa buong klase, nag-recite ka, taas ng kamay. Then, sinabihan ka ni teacher, very good. Absolutely. Exactly my point. So, yung words pa lang ni teacher ng appreciation in your part is satisfying. Right? So, ano yung tendency? After mo maka-receive ng satisfying na stimulus, more likely, there will be a repetition of the participation. Kumbaga pa, yung behavior mo of reciting will be strengthened. Dahil satisfying para sa'yo yung sinasabi ni teacher, yung appreciation ni teacher, ang mangyayari, mas strengthen yung behavior mo or mas more ka or continuous na ikaw ay mag-recite. Kapag ka naman, nag-recite ka, katima, waray-waray lang kang teacher. Agi, di rin manak na appreciate ni teacher. So, that is what you call annoying. Nakuha? So, since yung nakuha mo sa pag-recite is annoying, hindi ka naman na-appreciate, hindi ka naman napansin ni teacher, parang wala lang sa kanya. So, ano magiging behavior mo? Mawi-weaken yung behavior, hindi ka na mag-recite. Nakuha? So, that is law of effect. Sabi pa nga dito, satisfiers and annoyers are crucial to learning. Naintindihan ba kung ano ibig sabihin ng law of effect? Okay? Kapag yung behavior daw or yung response ay nasundan ng satisfying, no, na state, so more likely yung behavior mo ay mas strengthen or ma-repeat mo siya o ulit-ulitin mo siya. Pero kapag annoying, no, yung naging yung response mo, pagkatapos nun, annoying yung natanggap mo, so more likely, hindi na mawi-weaken na yung iyong behavior. Nakuha? So that is law of effect. Next, let's watch this video first.
But how is a new skill learned? That was a question which began to fascinate Thorndike. To answer it, he built some ingenious puzzle boxes from which cats could only escape by operating latches.
And in you go.
cat appears to be very clever in engineering its escape, solving the problem with a deftly placed paw and a push of its nose. But Thorndike didn't believe that an animal, even a clever cat, understands the consequences of its behavior. When he placed a cat in the puzzle box for the first time, Thorndike was unable to see any evidence of flashes of insight. The successful actions appeared first by chance. He proved that the apparent cleverness arose by trial and error, and used graphs to measure the rate of learning. A well-practiced cat quickly recalls the actions that help it escape to its reward of food. If an action brings a reward, Thorndike believed that that action becomes stamped into the mind. In his thesis, he explained further his ideas about learning, that behavior changes because of its consequences. He called this his law of effect, which explained how even wild creatures develop new habits.
Okay. Isn't that nice? No? So, doon sa kanyang experiment, gumawa siya ng isang cage. Okay? At meron siyang dalawang cat. Yung first na cat, mabilis siyang nakalabas ng cage. No? Especially, nung nakita niya na merong satisfier na naghihintay sa kanya pagkatapos niyang maka-escape doon sa box, which is yung food. Right? Then, the following time, nung nilagay siya ulit doon sa box, mas mabilis na siyang nakalabas. Bakit? Alam niya kasi na merong food na naghihintay sa kanya doon sa labas, or what we call the satisfier. So, since, the response is preceded with a satisfying event, more likely, the behavior is strengthened, the behavior is repeated. Nakuha? Ngayon, yung second cat, yung black, nilagay siya doon sa cage. Since kahit na anong gawin niya, hindi siya makalabas. And he find it annoying. The cat find it annoying. Kasi hindi siya makalabas agad. At hindi nga siya nakalabas. So, more likely, wala na. Nandun na siya nakaupo. And waiting na lang na palabasin siya doon sa cage. So, since the cat find it annoying, yung kanyang response was preceded with an annoying event, so more likely, yung behavior niya na makalabas ng cage is weakened. Okay? So, that is what you call law of effect. Okay, next, law of readiness. If one is prepared to act, to do is rewarding. And not to do is punishing. So, hindi na lang natin patatagalin, So, more likely, say for example, sa classroom, discussion kayo ni ma'am, discussion. Unexpectedly, tinawag ka pagod ang imo instructor to answer a particular question. Then, yung question, madali, at alam mo kung ano yung sagot. Then, you find it rewarding. Ibig sabihin, yung pag-recite mo for you is rewarding. Bakit? You are able to answer the question. So, that is what you call law of readiness. Kapag ikaw ay ready, kapag ikaw ay prepared to do or to act, yung ginawa mo for you is rewarding. Pero, kapag ka nag-recitation, ikaw pagod ang tinawag, bisan anhuning mo pagduko-duko, paghulog-hulog sa imo ballpen. But since you are not ready and you do not know to answer the question. So for you, the event is punishing. No? So more likely, when students are ready to learn a particular action, then the behaviors that foster this learning will be rewarding. And meanwhile, when students are not ready to learn, no, or not ready to respond, attempting to learn is punishing. So, burdensome para sa mga bata yung matuto. And even becomes a waste of time. Okay? Kahit naman tayo, pagpapasok tayo ng school, na ready tayo, then, rewarding para sa atin yung matuto. Pero kapag hindi tayo ready, no, punishing yun. Yun yung sinasabi natin na makapoy na, stressed na, no, sa school, ganun. Bakit? Kasi you are not ready to learn. Okay? So that is law of readiness. And we also have other laws of learning. One is law of primacy. The first thing learned has the strongest stimulus-response bond and is almost inerasable. Ibig sabihin nito, kung ano daw yung mga mas nauna nating natutunan, is more likely, yun yung mas madali nating magamit. Okay? Learning a concept or skill again is more difficult than the first time one has learned it. This explains why teachers correct students have misconception in a new lesson. When misconception is not corrected for the first time, that might lead to habit formation. Okay. So, kaya nga, no, kung ano kasi yung natutunan natin una, say for example, no, yung una mong natutunan concept is mali. And yet, sa bagong pagtuturo ni ma'am, kasi nga, kung ano yung mas nauuna, yun yung mas nare-retain sa isip natin. Ngayon, kino-correct na yun ni ma'am, okay? Tsaka siya mako-correct. Or what I mean is, hindi kasi change, no, yung maling perception natin, not unless it is corrected. Kaya nga, kapag may mga misconception yung mga learners, dapat na kino-correct siya, or else, it will last long. Say, for example, initially, ang pagkabasa ko sa giraffe is giraffe. Kasi yun yung unang tinuro sa akin ng teacher ko, that the proper pronunciation at tamang pagkabasa sa giraffe is giraffe, and yet walang teacher yung nagko-correct sa akin all throughout, since ito yung pinakauna kong natutunan. Tumatak talaga yung sa isip ko. All throughout my life, ang pagkabasa ko doon ay giraffe instead of giraffe. Bakit? First things first. Kung ano yung una natin natutunan, yun yung tumatatak talaga sa ating isipan. Kaya, kapag may misconception, dapat kino-correct yun ni teacher para makorrect yung mga maling conceptions regarding the first learned na mga concepts. Next is law of intensity. Yung mga exciting, okay, dramatic, yung more of emotions, no? Sabi pa nga nito, exposing the students in real-world application of the skill and concepts makes them most likely to remember the experience. Kapag mas marami yung senses na involved, kapag mas meaningful para sa kanila, mas exciting, mas dramatic, no? With emotions, intensity, no? Law of intensity, more likely yun ay mas madali nilang ma-recall. Nakuha? So, more likely, di ba kaya nga, say for example, kapag nagtuturo sa computer, no, yung mga drawing lang, label, o yung mga parang sa cardboard, kunwari sa cardboard, nagta-type ka, more likely, mas hindi nagiging effective yung kanilang learning. Bakit? Much better kung may involved na senses. Yung totoong keyboard talaga yung ginagamit, totoong computer, no, bakit? Mas nafe-feel nila, mas exciting para sa kanila, mas madali nilang nare-recall yung concepts. Or mas madali nilang nare-grasp yung learning experience. So that is what you call law of intensity. Then, law of recency, the concepts or skill most recently learned are least forgotten. Ayun, di ba? So ngayon, since nasa behavioral learning theory sa tayo at kakadiscuss pa lang natin ng classical conditioning, so more likely, yun yung mas nasa isip natin. Samantalang, 14 like learner-centered psychological principles. Naalala pa? Metacognition. Components. Naalala pa? Components of metacognition. Yun. Bakit? Law of recency, kung ano yung pinaka-recent na mga concepts and skills, yun yung mas naaalala natin. Teachers should facilitate learning by providing the learners with a clear connection. Dapat na i-connect ni teacher yung current or yung recent na learning experience sa previous na learning experience. Nakuha? So that is law of recency. Yung pinaka-recent na na-learn na concepts ay mas na-retain sa ating isipan or least forgotten. Okay, and that ends Connectionism by Edward Thorndike. Yan. So let us check your module. Okay, here. Again, read ha. Read the contents of your module. And for the activity, again, you are to make a graphic organizer. Then, do you think the laws are applicable inside the classroom? Then, you cite specific application, each law. Then, you differentiate law of primacy and law of recency, law of effect, and law of readiness. Then, of course, for express, you are to reflect on the following questions and still be guided with the learning rubric provided. Okay? And then again, I just wanted to remind you, if you have questions and clarifications, you may simply raise it through our group chat. Okay? So thank you. That's the end of Connectionism. Pero we still have to discuss 3 more behavioral learning theories. Have a great day.